I was in her coaching program, and I remember we got to like the social media part of the program, and she's showing us all the gear that she uses, this camera, this, that. And in my head, I'm like, girl, like, how am I gonna pay for this? I think I actually said it on the call, like, yeah, this is basically this is cute that you telling us to get this, but you make any suggestions? How am I gonna pay for it? She was like, girl, you need a job. Like, the way she said it, I was like, well, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was in my feelings a little bit. She was like, you need a job, okay, girl, you need a job. It's because they really don't care about you. Like, they don't be caring about you. Like, some people's jobs, they may care about them, but like, I remember my grandmother passed away, y'all. My grandmother passed away, and these people told me to take the time that I needed. I took the time that I needed, and when I came back, I was working for a few weeks, and you know, they tried to write me up, talking about I missed certain days, and you know, I cursed them people out. When I did prom makeup that year, that was my first time doing prom makeup, but I swear I made more money in like that week of doing prom makeup that I did like the entire month working at that job. And I was like, what am I doing here? Like, I'm about to quit and just do makeup. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get authentic answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. Join me every week as me and my special guest reveal the keys to longevity and success in the beauty industry, from the ups and downs of their journey to the nitty-gritty of their struggles and triumphs. We're spilling the tea on it all, and most importantly, having fun while doing it. You ready?
Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty here, Akua Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. Now, on today's episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast, I just love the opportunity when you get a chance to have me all to yourself. I just love that. So today, what I want to talk about is why I became a full-time makeup artist. And I feel like I want to have this conversation with you all because I have so many new supporters for Friends in Beauty, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, the podcast, and everything like that. But I don't think that I do a very good job of revisiting my story a lot. Like, a lot of people, they only know me from, I guess, whenever they come across me, but they don't know like how I got here. And you can totally go back to episode 1 of the Friends in Beauty podcast to check out that story. I tell my whole story, I guess, from that time up until where I landed in 2020 when I started the podcast. But there, of course, has been so many other things that has happened since then. So I wanted to take the time to come and chat with y'all and tell y'all like why I became a full-time makeup artist, because I know there's so many people out there who have 9-to-5s or, you know, work part-time and do, you know, makeup part-time or however it's set up for you. And I know a lot of people are so eager to like quit their 9-to-5s and, you know, do makeup or hair, nails, whatever your passion is within the beauty industry. I know that, you know, a lot of people are like striving to get there, but I just want to tell you my personal story of why I became a full-time makeup artist. So I have been a makeup artist for 11 years, y'all. And it was not something that I ever saw myself doing. I would say that one thing for sure is that I wanted to be a hairstylist when I was in high school. So I did not grow up around beauty in the traditional sense of like some people I talked to on the podcast are like, you know, my mom was into beauty, so I would like play in her makeup and all that stuff. My mom was actually a braider when I was growing up. I mean, she had her, you know, government job and everything too. But on the side, she would also braid hair. So hair was something that I was surrounded by. So I would always like braid my doll baby's hair. And I actually started doing my own hair when I was like 11 years old. So I did want to go to cosmetology school directly after high school, but I was 17 when I graduated from high school. You know, big brain. I was 17 when I graduated from high school. So like, you know, people, the adults around me were, you know, based on the information that they had at that time, were advising me to go to college. And they're like, you should go to college, have a backup plan. That's cool, you want to do hair, but you should have a backup plan. So that's what I did. So I actually worked my way through college, y'all. I was a teller at Wachovia Bank, which is now Wells Fargo. They did a whole merger. But I worked my way through college. I would, work during the day and I would take classes at night. And that's something that I did for years, like up until like about my last semester of college. I worked my way because I was going to UDC, which is the University of the District of Columbia. And at that time, tuition was so, I want to say cheap because, cheap is relative, but it was very affordable. So I was able to work and pay for school. Like it was like, and it didn't even seem like, from what I can remember, it didn't seem like it was a hassle to do so either. And mind you, at that time, I'm still young, I'm living at home and everything, and I didn't have any other major bills. I don't even think I was driving. I got my car like sometime into college, but I wasn't even driving and anything like that yet. So bills and stuff was pretty minimal. So I was working as a teller, paying my way through college, and then in my last semester, it was like I think I remember the date. It was December 18th, 2006. No, I'm lying. 2008 or 9. Honey, I know it was December 18th. What was the year? I think it was 2008. Yes. December 18th, 2008, they fired me from Wachovia. They were going, it was a whole thing. Like I don't even want to get into that story, but it was the merger that was going on at the time and they were letting people go and they were just looking for people to let go. And me and like my homegirl that was there, and I think the other boy that was there too, we all got laid off from that job. So I had to go on unemployment and everything. I was panicking, like, how am I going to finish paying for school? But luckily, through the DC government, I was able to get into some kind of program at the time. I don't even remember what it was, because funny enough, that last semester that I was in school is when they raised the tuition. So I think I had like one or two more classes to take, and those two classes cost like the same amount that I was paying for like a full course load. It was crazy. So luckily, I was able to get into some kind of program to help me pay for my last semester of school. But nonetheless, your girl got fired and went on unemployment and all that stuff for some months. And then, luckily enough, one of my friends knew somebody who worked at the unemployment office and they were hiring. So, long story short, I'm in my last semester of school. I get hired to work at the unemployment office. Go figure. I was an unemployment claims examiner, and y'all, things were bad. This is when the recession was really starting 2008, 2009. Like, I'm on the phone with people calling about when am I going to receive my unemployment benefits, and on our side we can actually see people's salaries and stuff like that. So there were people who were making like six figures plus a year, and at that time, the most that you can get in unemployment was $349 a week. So people were like very upset. It was crazy. So I worked there for some months. And then there's another story behind that. I got fired again. Okay. I got fired again. And I remember like walking out of there just feeling so defeated. Like, I was just really defeated because I had never been fired from a job, not only once, but twice. And I'm working my way through school, trying to do all this stuff, trying to do what people told me to do. And I'm just what is life? Like, what is life right now? So, long story short, I ended up, I don't even know what I did for work after that. I can't even remember. It's so long ago, but I did finish school. I finished school in December 2009. I graduated, but it was still the recession. So I graduated with a bachelor's degree in computer information systems, which is technically like IT. And anytime I tell people that I have an IT degree, they're like, "What? You couldn't find a job?" But literally nobody was hiring. Go back to episode 1 if you want all the tea on all of that. But nobody was hiring. So I think I went through a stint of like, I just couldn't find a job. So I went to bartending school, go figure. Like, I went to bartending school. I actually started selling life insurance. One of like my manager that used to work at the bank before I got fired, she wasn't there when I got fired, but she invited me to join this company to sell life insurance, and that wasn't really working out because at that time people weren't as open as they are to life insurance right now, and I was just getting tired of trying to convince people to protect themselves and just in case they die, so your family won't have to do GoFundMe's and all that stuff. So I was just like, okay, this ain't for me. I don't even know if selling is for me. Then I got a job at Harris Teeter, and I was working in like the deli department. And then within the deli department, we also had like the cakes and stuff like that. So they needed help with like the cake decorator needed help. So they actually trained me, y'all, to become a cake decorator. So that's what I was actually doing before I started doing makeup. While I was working at Harris Teeter as a cake decorator, something happened where I was already starting to like experiment with makeup on myself. And I was on YouTube and doing all the things. And I'm like, maybe I should become a makeup artist. So I went to Bennett Career Institute, all that stuff. That's a little bit of my story. So went to Bennett Career Institute, became a makeup artist. And I remember, however it goes, like June, maybe like June 2013, May, June 2013. When I did prom makeup that year, that was my first time doing prom makeup, but I swear I made more money in like that week of doing prom makeup than I did like the entire month working at that job. And I was like, what am I doing here? Like, I'm about to quit and just do makeup. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. I was like, I'm out of here. And like, I literally kind of like been full time. I don't want to say since I started, but I always count 2013 as the year that I started doing makeup. And I pretty much been full time ever since. Now, I have picked up jobs here and there throughout the years, just on a case by case basis. Like if I got something like a big expense, like one time I went to Ghana and I was like, I need to stack my money, so I got a little job like working overnight at this place as a concierge and stuff like that. I have gotten like small jobs over the years, but it just doesn't last because I honestly just don't like working for people. So the reason why ultimately I became a full-time makeup artist is because I got tired of having my livelihood in somebody else's hands. If you've ever been fired from a job, of course it's not something that, I mean, unless you're doing a bad job, you might know that it's coming, but I had no clue that both times when that happened, I had no clue that that was about to happen. And the way that you feel is just terrible. Like, at least if I'm full time as a makeup artist and something doesn't go right or things aren't, at least it's because of my doing or my lack of whatever. I never want to have my livelihood in somebody else's hands like that ever again. It's just not a good feeling. And it's not to say that being a full time makeup artist is easy, because it's not. Because, like I said, everything is reliant upon you, whether you're in a good mood, a bad mood, sick, whatever. But it just feels better for me personally that I have a little bit more control over my life. So I had this interview. I did a podcast interview for I did a podcast interview. I interviewed Ronke Raji for the Friends in Beauty podcast. At the time of this recording, I interviewed her yesterday, okay, for the Friends in Beauty podcast. And guess where she was at? Ronke is a big time content creator in my eyes, content creator, YouTuber, very creative, has all the following, brand deals, all the things. And she was sitting at her job, okay? And she was just like, she's thinking about quitting, all that stuff. Y'all can listen to the episode when it comes out. But she's thinking about quitting, giving her 2 weeks and all that stuff. But she's like, she just came to this realization of like, if I could wake up early, do my makeup, get dressed, have the discipline to show up for this job, I can absolutely do the same thing for myself. And not to say that it's not going to be hard. She has children and everything like that. But yeah, that's just, she was at her job and I was just like, wow, this is going to be so important for a lot of people to see, because of course we have our perceptions of how we view people on social media, but you got to do what you got to do. I'm not telling you to quit your job. Some people actually love their jobs, okay? Some people love their jobs, and you have to do what you have to do for yourself. My circumstances are completely different from a lot of people that I come in contact with and are in my community. I am a single woman. I do not have kids except for Cash. I don't want her to come over here and scratch me, okay? I have a fur baby. I don't have children. I don't have a husband. I am a single woman. So all the money that I make is for me and my business. I don't have a house, okay? Like, I don't have a lot of things that other people have. So you have to do what's important for you. But in the meantime, if you have a 9 to 5, use that job to feed your business. It's hard being full time. You have to set yourself up before you quit. Like, don't just quit. And it's so funny. anytime when I've been really wanting to do an episode like this for a while because I was in a coaching program I think 2 years ago with Ronnie Brown. It was the brand rehab, but it's the Ignite Your Brand now. But I was in her coaching program, and I remember we got to like the social media part of the program, and she's showing us all the gear that she uses, this camera, this, that. And in my head, I'm like, girl, like, how am I gonna pay for this? I think I actually said it on the call, like, yeah, this is basically this is cute that you telling us to get this, but you make any suggestions? How am I gonna pay for it? She was like, girl, you need a job. Like the way she said it, I was like, well, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was in my feelings a little bit. She was like, you need a job, okay, girl, you need a job, like, period. Because it's very hard to, like, as a full-time creative, it's very hard to have your business that's creating all the money for you, and then you're expected to take that money to put it back into your business to keep it running, but also to pay your bills and pay your rent and pay your car note and live your life. Like, it's very hard. So I'm like, where am I supposed to get this extra money to buy this $700 camera that you're suggesting that I buy? And she's like, girl, you need a job. Okay. So I don't currently have a job right now. Did I get a job after she said that? I don't think I got a job. Like, I'll do, like, I've done like stuff like here and there, like Lyft and stuff like that. But at this point, I really don't know what the hell my resume would even look like because I haven't had a job, a regular 9 to 5 job, like a consistent one in 11 years. So I could put the skills and stuff that I have from, like, being a content creator and everything like that. But I really don't even know what I would be good at or what I would do for a job. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't know. And sometimes I do be struggling. I was even asking Ronke, I was like, how you find this job, girl? Where do people go to look for jobs? Because sometimes I honestly do want something that is a little bit more just secure and stable because I'm still waiting on money from 2 jobs that I did. One job was last week and the other job was like 2 weeks prior to that. I'm still waiting on that money. So a lot of times I be feeling like, dang, you ain't got no money, you broke or whatever. But I'm like, I'm actually not broke. I just don't have the money yet in my hands because of this net 30 business and you know how it is in the industry and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my little spiel. That's why I have been full time for as long as I have, and despite the feelings of wanting to get a job and stuff like that, I just it's very hard because I do not want to feel like that again. Like, getting fired is no joke. And especially in the economy and the state that we're in right now where people aren't, like, they're not really high. It's like kind of like where we were in 2008, 2009. People aren't really hiring like that anymore. So I just default to, I don't want to say burning myself out, but I just default to trying to go as hard as I can with my business and trying to make things happen because I don't want to be relying on the will of somebody else seeing if I'm fit for a job or not, or making cuts because of the budget and then I'm on the chopping block. Like, it's not fun. It's not fun. So are you thinking about going full time? If you think about going full time, make sure you have a plan. Make sure you have saved up your money for a rainy day. But I would say make sure you are making money consistently already in your business before you do that. Like, it's no joke. It's no joke. And I just feel like I need to share that with y'all because a lot of people want to be full time, but just make sure you ready. That you ready. You got something set up and something in place. But because it's not easy at all. Yeah, so stay at your job, okay? Use that job to fund your business. Try to work out some kind of schedule for yourself that you can still take clients and everything like that. I know it's hard. I know you be tired when you come home, but just do what you got to do until you can do what you want to do. Did I say that right? Do what you got to do until you can do what you want to do. All right. I hope that you all enjoyed this episode. Like I said, go back to episode 1 where I tell my entire story on, oh, this is like a random fact. The reason why I was so confident in quitting that job as a cake decorator too is because they really don't care about you. Like, they don't be caring about you. Like, some people's jobs, they may care about them, but like, I remember my grandmother passed away, y'all. My grandmother passed away, and these people told me to take the time that I needed. And I didn't take, like, 2 weeks or like 3 weeks. I took the time that I needed. And when I came back, I was working for a few weeks. And they tried to write me up, talking about I missed certain days. And I cursed them people out. I lit my supervisor up and the store manager up in that room. They were trying to get me to sign the write up. I said, I ain't signing. Okay, because my grandmother died. Y'all are showing no compassion. Y'all told me to take the time that I needed, which I did, and I communicated that as well. I ain't signed the damn thing up in the walked out and went back to work. Okay, and months after that is when I quit. They don't care about you. I care about myself. I'm going to do what I need to do to make it happen. These people don't care about you. So do what you got to do for now, but start working on your exit plan. If you're really not happy with your job and all that stuff, I ain't telling you to quit today. Don't come over here try to get no loan or nothing like that. I ain't telling you to quit today, but just stick it out for as long as you can, and you'll know when it's time. All right. I hope that you all enjoyed this episode. I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to catch up with you really quick and just share a little bit of a portion of my story. Episode 1 is when I get into like a little bit more detail about it. But if you want to know anything else about my journey, please let me know. I'll be happy to share because I really feel like we need to chat more like one-on-one. And I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to do this today. So I guess I will talk to you next week. I'll see you next week in another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with another friend in beauty. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe, rate, and leave a 5-star review so that other friends in beauty can find the show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, hashtag Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.